When I'm there with you in heaven, what a wondrous joy will be. Gathered with the angel chorus, standing by the glassy sea. Such a thought is hard to fathom, in the presence of my King, and with countless ones forgiven, gathered round the throne to sing glory and honor. Worthy is the Lamb. Glory and honor. Worthy is the Lamb. Mortal words cannot express it, all the ways you reign supreme. Even death can't hold the vastness, nor approach this awesome theme. 'Cause you are God, and to your glory we will worship and abide. In your presence there forever, we'll be happy to reside. Glory and honor. Worthy is the Lamb. Glory and honor. Worthy is the Lamb.
I like this new we've got of the tables and so forth. I hope you do. Hope we can get enough people well to kind of fill it up here. We're going to review a little bit of what we want to do over last week, and then before we jump into this week. Last week, the lesson was, what is truth? And somebody won't give me a short, definitive answer. What is truth?
Absolute reality.
Okay, that which is real.
Fact.
It's a truth. There's a lot of ways to define it, but truth is what is real. It's not fancy. It's not opinion. It's not a feeling. It's what is real. Okay, let's see. What are some examples of truth?
Oh, there are all kinds of physical examples of truth.
Okay.
The speed of light, gravitational pull.
2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah,
Except in Washington State,
Yeah.
that's debatable there.
Well, that's interesting because 2 + 2 = 4 is only true and only real within the context of a logical system that's based on base 10 mathematics. And that's something that we have found to be very useful in our lives, so we've made it very firm. Now, can you think of something that's true that you can't see?
Jesus died for our sins.
Okay, can't see that, can you? All right. What about something that's more immediate and more in our lives on a daily basis?
The sun causes weather.
Okay, can't see that, can you? Can you see wind? How do you know it's real?
See the effects of it.
See, that's the thing about truth. Sometimes you can't see it, but you can always see its effect. If you can't see it, you can see its effect. Anybody can see love?
Can't even define it.
But we know love is real because we can see the effects of love, and that we work on that basis. Well, let's talk a little bit about how truth works. When we got into this last week, we had some examples of some different recipes of cakes. Now, some of you were here and you remember that. What about if you had a white cake mix and it was the right cake mix and you followed it, what would happen?
Probably get a white cake.
You get a white cake. Now, what if you made a white cake on Tuesday and Charlene made one on Friday? Would they be the same?
No, hers would taste good, but but a white cake would be a white cake, I assume, if we use the same recipe or the same box or whatever.
That's an important facet of truth, of an important thing about truth. Truth is the same, whether it's, no matter what time it is, or no matter what person is applying that truth, truth doesn't change. Now, is that what you always hear? Not always, because there's a lot of people today who want to say either that there is no absolute truth, or that truth varies from individual to individual. Well, let's say Jim went up on the roof of this building and jumped off. What would happen?
He'd land on the ground.
What if I went up on the building and jumped off?
He'd land on the ground
Or any of you?
at the same rate of speed.
Now, because gravity is a truth, and it does not vary from person to person. Well, because it is true, it is real. The claims that truth can vary from individual to individual is based on the unprovable assumption that truth varies, and it doesn't. It's always the same. And it doesn't matter which one of us sees or is trying to apply it. Truth is always the same.
Years ago, Mike Armour said Harvard was having, their professors were having to say truth, because, you know, the students there knew that truth depended on who said it, but if they thought it was really true, they were calling it truth, and this was 20 years ago or more.
Well, unfortunately, bad ideas don't go away. You know, we're going to be talking about some approaches to discovering truth. We're going to call them worldviews when we get there a few lessons down the road. Do you know what? Every one of them has been around since at least the flood, and they're called different things. They keep showing up, but we're going to find out that they're all the same, and that there is one thing that is absolute, and that is reality, and truth is real. Now, let's talk about where truth comes from. And we're going to shift over into lesson 2 now, but we're not quite ready to jump into our Bibles yet. Name something that we all would see and recognize as true, something that we can see. We're just for this simple example here.
We exist.
Hmm?
We exist.
We exist. I mean, you're here, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
I'm here. We exist. Now, how do we know that? How did we come to know that particular truth?
We can see.
Your eyes. We're going to talk about where truth comes from today. And you know, there's only a limited number of ways we can discover or have truth. And one, we discover it ourselves. We see it, we hear it, we taste it, and so forth. What about something that you have not experienced directly that you know to be true?
Depend on the word of somebody that you do trust.
We were told it was true, weren't we? So, and then we get into the question of witnesses and reliable witnesses plus non-reliable witness. So if we're told something that's true by someone that we have the means of verifying the truth, we come to know that is true. So that's another way we can get to know truth. We're told the truth, or we're read it, we're shown it, or something of that nature. Have any of you ever been with a member of the mammalian family, a mammal, and they had a newborn?
Yes.
How did that mother, puppy, a mother dog, cow, whatever, how did they know what to do to take care of the newborn?
Instinct.
All right, that's another way we can know the truth, is it's instinctual, an instinct. Now, unfortunately, humans have very few instincts. You are born with a few. One, you're born with the instinct to suck. Thank goodness. Now, not all babies do that, have that as well as others. Isn't that right? But if a newborn is being held and they're laying there fairly content, but they're kind of beginning to act like maybe they would be ready to eat, and you reach over and tickle their cheek, what happens?
They don't turn their head and start sucking.
They know that instinctually. God gives that instinctive knowledge because we need it. Like I say, unfortunately, humans don't have a lot of those. to be able to suck, fear of loud noises, few things like that, seeking warmth as opposed to cold. I'm pretty sure loud noises, though, was a learned response, because when the mother hears a loud noise, what does she do? Jumps.
Well,
And the baby senses that.
no, the baby is born with a startle reflex.
That's what I mean. They have that.
They have it.
And whether it's learned, because we actually start learning, and this is something that should be disregarded as absolutely remarkable. We start learning before we're ever born.
Oh, yes.
Now, we can either be told what's true, discover it ourselves, have it instinctually. Now, there are some things that are true and some things that are not true. We're going to call one information, and what would you think we would want to call this other over here? Misinformation. That MIS prefix tells you it's false, and whatever it is. Okay, then where does truth come from? How did any of us, how come any of us can know anything?
God put it in us. God created us that way.
What else? Will anybody have another opinion or another idea?
We learn it.
All right, let's look at the possibilities. Just the logical possibilities. One is that truth, knowledge, has already existed, always. Now this usually goes along with another false idea called that the universe, the cosmos, has always existed. We've disproved that a long time ago. And that it's just there, and some of us have it and some of us don't. Unfortunately, I've known a few professors in universities that felt that way about knowledge, and they thought they were the privileged ones, and some of the students they didn't like were some of the ones that weren't so privileged. Unfortunately, that's not true. So the other is that knowledge is made available some way. If it didn't always exist, it had to come from somewhere. Could it just be accidental?
It was the Big Bang.
Well, there probably was a big bang. Doesn't say what banged or who banged it. But that's a pretty well-established truth, that it did happen. Fortunately, and if you're a creationist, as I am, that's a great thing to know, because it means there was a beginning, just like God said. Well, it didn't come from, or maybe it did. You think truth came from foreign beings that somehow visited us and gave us all this knowledge of their advanced civilization?
Well, you know, the Bible starts in the beginning, God.
Well,
And I think God, part of God is reality, especially as it relates to covenant relationships.
now, we have knowledge has got to come from somewhere. My apologies to Indiana Jones, but no, creatures from outer space didn't bring it to us. But God does exist, and God gives us the ability to learn truth. what is it about us, or what is it that makes that possible? If you want to check me out, go to Genesis 1:36.
Genesis 1:36.
I believe it's 36. Starts about 33, goes through 36.
It says, Genesis 1 only goes through 31.
What?
There is no 36.
There is no.
Oh, to 36. All right, well, I'm remembering wrong. Start about 35. God says,
It's only 31.
31, God says, let us do what?
Make man in our image.
26. All right, that's where I'm got off by 10. Forgive me there. God said, let us make man in what?
Our own image.
The word there is image. Human beings are made in the image of God. That means they're made to be like God in certain very important ways. And one is the ability to learn abstract truth, to learn truth. There's a lot of things you can do with animals. You'd just be surprised how many unusual, strange things you can train an animal to do. And animals certainly have a certain amount of intelligence. Some animals more than others. Like I was talking to some guy yesterday at the funeral. He thought I remembered when I was in high school, and I did a lot with cattle. And he was talking about how cows always seem to frustrate what we want to do. And I made the comment that cows weren't the dumbest of the farm animals, but they were up to close to the top. I'd put the chicken at the very top, but not necessarily. But God made us so that we have the ability to learn. What does that tell us then about all truth? Where does all truth come from? This is a very important concept and flies in the face of a lot of things that people believe today, but it's very important. Where does all truth come from? Okay, it comes from God. Does that mean God has told us everything that's true? Some things He expects us to discover on our own. Now, what about things that don't have anything to do with our relationship with God? But the fields of medicine, science, whatever. There's a lot of things out there that God didn't deal with. He didn't set out to write a science book or a medical book. Where does that truth come from?
I believe it still comes from God because I think He's the greatest scientist, the greatest mathematician, the greatest doctor, the greatest. I mean, all of that came from Him. Our ability to discover those things, to learn those things, to figure those things out. You know, the brain, He gave us a brain.
All right. Remember was it Scarecrow that needed a brain? Well, all truth is God's truth, and He gives us the ability to discover it. Therefore, even people who are not nice people can discover truth that is beneficial to humankind. People who are wrong about a whole lot of things can discover something that is true that is beneficial to the human race. It's a blessing that God gives us, that He gives us with the fact of our creation to be like Him, to be able to discover truth. Now, I want us to talk a little bit about how this works. And this is where we're going to start with our scriptures now, Brad. I want you to open your Bibles, and we're just going to talk for a minute here. There's one verse on the screen because the screen's not big enough to hold all of this. But I want you to look at the last 3 chapters of the book of Job. Now, Job is the oldest book of the Bible. The events that are described in it, the individuals, are probably about the same time as some of Noah's descendants. I'm talking here old as when the story originated. What Job was talking about happened before Moses was ever born. Moses wrote down our account of creation and so forth. It was given to him by God. But here we have a man who lived, who knew about God, who was experiencing life and learning things and was fairly successful at it, and then bad things happened to him. Why does Job spend the first 2.5 chapters are talking about how Job gets into this particular situation. And then we've got roughly the rest of the 38 chapters is Job and his friends talking about why Job's in this situation and what does Job keep doing.
He continues to assert the goodness and divinity of God.
Well, actually not.
Didn't he?
He's asserting his goodness. And I don't deserve this.
Happening to me.
Tell me why this is going on.
Yeah.
Well, then we get to chapters 39, 40, 41, 42. Particularly, we get the one that's on the screen here, chapter 40 and verse 2, and what's God doing? See, these last few chapters, last 3 chapters or so, God starts talking back to Job. And what is the essence of what God is saying to Job?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah. What are you trying to do? You act like you ought to know everything. And then he starts asking Job all of these questions. And he asks him question after question after question after question that Job can't answer. To point out...
Where were you when I created?
To point out what? What's he pointing out to Job?
He doesn't know everything.
He's letting Job know
He's not God.
that Job doesn't know it all. And he doesn't know even part of it, of everything. He knows some things, but not much.
And if God told him, he wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And God lets him know, you are not the one who is to stand in judgment of truth. You're not to stand in judgment of God. He asks him, who are you to judge my morals? Who are you to judge my justice, the validity of my actions? And Job comes to the conclusion of what?
He can't explain.
I questioned once, but now
He came to his senses. Yeah, he's like, I'm shutting up now because,
I'm going to put my hands over my mouth because I realize I cannot understand all of this. The reason I bring this up is we said to act like Job and expect that we will understand everything there is to understand about truth all by ourselves. And most of what is known, most of truth that exists, is beyond us. That which we can know, we better know. But that which we can't know, we need to not worry about. And that's, we're going to be looking at a lot of things as we go through this class. And there are two errors, or let's say start out with two, I may add some more later, that humans are always making. And one is the error of believing that truth is supposed to be where I can understand it. You really see this when you come to talking about creation. And there's a lot of bad information put out there by people who believe in creation, but they think it has to be such that they can understand it all. Well, they weren't there, neither was I, when it happened. So what we know is secondhand at best. And it's best for us to realize we can't force things to be the way that makes it simple for us. We do that with a lot of truths. We think that God owes us truth that is understandable and that fits our preconceptions. Not so. God's truth is absolute, and it is to rule us, not us to rule it. Now, let's deal with where truth comes from. We're going to look at a number of scriptures, and we're maybe not going to get through with this lesson today, but let's look at Psalms 119, verses 58 to 162. And somebody read this for us.
58 through what?
62, particularly verse 160.
58 to
162.
160.
Is that 158 to 162?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I took that one, I looked at the faithless with disgust, because they do not keep your commands. Consider how I love your precepts. Give me life, O Lord, according to your steadfast love. The sum of your word is truth, and every one of your righteous rules endures forever. Princes persecute me without cause, but my heart stands in awe of your words. I rejoice at your word like one who finds great spoil.
Okay, in particular, I want you to look at verse 160. What does he say about truth?
The sum of your word is truth. That means all of it.
This translation says the very essence of your words is truth.
I
I
have
like.
not.
And some of them are all your words. God is truth. God is the source of truth. And the psalmist is declaring that here in verse 160 of Psalms 119. God's word is what is true. So when we look at where does truth come from, where do we look first to find God's truth?
God's Word.
at what God has told us. Now, not everything God's told us, He's told us in the Bible, but a lot of it has. All right, let's look at the next verse. Isaiah 45. And if you want to, you can look up here on screen and see what they are. Isaiah 45, verses 18 and 19.
The Lord alone is God. He created the heavens and made a world where people can live without creating, instead of creating an empty desert. The Lord alone is God. There are no others. The Lord did not speak in a dark, secret place or command Jacob's descendants to search for him in vain. The Lord speaks the truth, and this is what he says to every survivor from every nation.
All right. Speak, I the Lord, speak the truth. I declare what is right. So, who determines what's right? Who determines what's wrong? All right. Why does God have the right to do that?
Because He's created it all. He's the creator.
He's the creator. He's the maker of it. So He has a right to teach us how it works, how it happens. I, the Lord, speak the truth. I declare what is right. That is a foundation that we're going to want to deal with. He didn't take this authority, somebody didn't give him this authority. This authority is his because he is God. And that, if we're going to deal with truth and what truth is, that is the foundation we must always have in mind, that God determines what is true. He determines what's right. Okay, let's go to the New Testament for a little bit. Let's look at John 8, 31 and 32. You see a part of this verse everywhere you turn almost. Bill and I, we used to go to a school that when you walk by the tallest building on campus, that truth was, or part of that verse, was chiseled or engraved along the top. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Put there by the order of a man that I doubt very seriously knew the truth. But that's beside the point. Who's Jesus talking to here? And and then we'll see what he has to say.
To the Jews.
All right, he's talking to a group of people who are believers in Jesus. And he's talking to a group of people that's probably the larger part of the group who don't believe in Jesus. And so he says to the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, if you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. How does Jesus define discipleship?
Obedience, trust.
Followers.
How does Jesus define discipleship? When in doubt, always read the verse.
Those who hold to the truth.
Those who hold the truth, those who believe in him, then when they believe the truth has power. And what will the power do for those, what will truth do for those who believe the truth and hear it.
Set them free.
Will set them free. Now, we're going to see in a little bit, as we come back to this, that not everybody there was happy with what Jesus said, because some people did not believe the truth, and they were not free. Okay, let's look ahead. Let's go down to John 14:6.
Yeah. In my Father's house.
Nope, past that.
Okay.
Jesus said to him, I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
All right, what's Jesus claiming in this passage?
He is claiming he is God. He is one in God.
All right, there are a number of ways of saying it. But first, he is declaring that he, and he alone is the source of what? The source of truth. He is the way, the what?
Truth,
The truth, and
life.
now, on the face of it, isn't that about the most arrogant statement you ever heard in your life?
Well, to them it sure was. It was blasphemy to them.
Well, I don't care what it was to them. Let's deal with us. Why is that not an arrogant,
Well,
put down a
Because he was there when it was created. He was with God when it was created.
all right, but
And Muhammad Ali said, if it's the truth, it ain't bragging.
Oh, there you go.
it's what?
If it's the truth, it ain't bragging. And if it's the truth, it's not
Well,
arrogant.
you take an unbeliever's word and use it right back against it. Here we are. Jesus is making a statement that to many people is very arrogant, very much a put down, but Jesus has the right to make that statement. Why?
well, it's true.
Because he's the creator.
Okay. He has the right to make that statement. We're going to break here because our time's shot. Our time's gone. What I want you to do is to look and read what Jesus has to say about truth in John 14, John 18, and then over in 1 Timothy 2 and 17. Now, to kind of set the stage for that, to put some legs on what April keeps declaring back there, and it's nice to declare that, but it's essential that be more than just something we say. It is essential to be something we know. So one of the main things I want you to do to prepare for next week is read John chapter 1, verse 1 through verse 14. Okay, we're going to be dismissed and late for worship.
Okay.
Maybe not quite late, but nearly.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate it, Jerry.
Yes.
A lot of effort going into
Yes.
this class.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's
Okay, Cosette. Have a good day.
You too. Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Judy doing okay?
She's better. She's still taking her medicine and getting better, so I look for her to be up and around